to another game here. We got another PvT. As I said, I've got a bunch of them this week. And the submitter is Bear Juice Slava, and his description he sent in was that it's a Platinum League game, and that it's a PvT on Baleshir Vestige. Obviously, he tries to open Rain's 1 gate FE, which is Colossus and upgrades, and then Terran goes for Hellbat drop, followed up by Mech. So we haven't really done a Mech game. I think we did one, but it was kind of a weird game. So it was like a quick, like 1-2 kind of thing. That was really just one push. So we'll see how this goes. So he said he tries Rain's build. Does he mean the Stargate opener that I like, or is he doing something else? He hasn't gotten the second gas, so I would imagine it's something else. Yeah, it's probably just normal 1 gate of FE that I do. But then into 3 gate Robo with double upgrades and Colossus, like the standard. But just more little efficient because it's Rain's build, and Rain's super sexy. Alright, so we see nothing. We come up here. Oh, we gotta check what that add-on is. That's really bad. Alright. Kinda missed that. It's unfortunate, but we know he's not expanding and he's going for tech, so we gotta play defensive. So you're getting your Robo and your 2 gates. That's all wonderful. Great. It's sexy. What is the purpose of chrono boosting this? There is none, because we're not trying to attack or defend anything that's going to be happening within the next minute. So this is unnecessary. Should be chrono boosting only probes, and maybe 1 or 2 on the observers. Since, you know, we saw gas and him kind of staying back, he could be going Widow Mines. But he's going Hellbat drops, as he so lovely pointed out, which are a pain in the butt to deal with. And Observer is going to kind of scout it late. I don't know why, actually. So yeah, there's all that tech going down, all nice and normal. Mothership is positioned in a nice spot to overcharge both the Nexuses. Alright, so here's where the crap happens. Hellbat drop number 1 pulls away pretty nicely. Hellbat drop number 2 is what I'm guessing screws you over. Overcharge the first one, deal with the first one, but yeah, the second one gets completely disregarded. And you're actually trying to move probes away into the Hellbats, which is bad. So he's already up all the way up to 19 kills. That's basically game over. Well, he doesn't have a second base yet, so actually never mind. I mean, usually you don't go 2 factories, 3 factories off 1 base. You usually get the command center instead, in which case Mr. Bear Juice Slava would be completely and utterly boned, but he didn't. So we're still somewhat in this game. As you can see, our probe count's actually even. And we have 2 Nexuses that we can chrono boost. But, to deal with those, I mean, it's really hard. You have to overcharge, which you did, pull the probes away, keep them away from the Hellbats as long as possible, and then focus the Hellbats. I've learned that focusing the medevacs, like, so that way, they can't get away, is actually kind of bad because the Hellbats are there for longer. You want to kill those as quickly as possible. So focusing the Hellbats would be better. And obviously paying attention to the mini-map and being aware of what's happening. You should have been able to see that your natural is getting attacked the entire time as well and kind of move those away. That's just mini-map awareness and that stuff, so, you know, just work on that. We're getting really overeager at this point. We haven't even begun to use any of our initial tech structures that we got, and you're already thinking of putting another one on. That's really unnecessary. We gotta get our probe count up before we can even think about getting an extra tech structure, let alone use the ones we already have. So we see, or we should see, that he has not expanded yet. His command center has just started, so we should know that we're in still a pretty decent position. If he had gotten his Nexus or his CC already, again, then he would be pretty boned, but he's not. Alright, so we should also have our units split up, since we know he's Hellbat dropping. We should have our units split up to deal with both, to go with both mineral lines. Go in both mineral lines, sorry. Because we may be over defended here and kill that one, but then he's just going to come over here where there's nothing and kill everything. Alright, so we're going... Okay, so we're in that when behind Dark Shrine mentality when we're actually not behind that much. And then we see he's got a turret. So this is you kind of abandoning your gameplay when you think you're behind when you're not, and you could have easily seen that with this observer. So that's just a bad read and scout on your part, when we really could have just continued with our standard that we opened with and been perfectly fine. Please don't just run a DT into this turret after we saw that. That'd be really stupid. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, Templar Archives, we're getting too much tech off two bases. When our income isn't even that great. Alright, so at least you don't sack those DTs into a turret. So that restores some faith. But again, we're getting everything, like, we're spreading ourselves too thin. We're getting way too much off of two bases. We need to hunker down and get an army up instead of get like one of everything. We're not Terran. We can't do one of everything builds. They're not effective. This observer's still not doing anything. And after we see that he's going mech, I should probably say this, that the army composition that you're kind of aiming for is Zealot, Archon, Immortal, and Templar, since, you know, with Archons comes Templar. Yeah, that's usually pretty good. And then you can get air, slowly transition it. I mean, a couple Colossus is great as well if you opened that. And obviously Stalkers, a few Stalkers, and a few Sentries. But basically, Zealots, Immortals, Archons are the key, like the meat of your army. And then eventually, after you get your third base and you're getting your fourth and whatnot, slowly transition into more air with Void Rays and then Tempests. So that's what we should be going for. And obviously continuing upgrades along the way. But yeah, less Stalkers, more Zealots. Even though he's going Hellbats, I know. It's really weird. Hellbats are quite annoying. But that's also where the Archons and Storm come in. Archons are very, very good against Hellbats since they're still considered biological. And they also, Archons don't receive any of the extra damage that Hellbats do. So our probe count is very low. Even though we had that big hit in the beginning, we should still be right up to 70 at this point. It's 19 minutes in the game. We could easily have that right now. If we're not constantly making probes right now, which is bad. Should have been always doing that. Alright, so we get 2 more Robos, which is good. Actually, maybe 2 at this point is a little not that good. So our money isn't hugely. We don't have a lot of bank right now. We have a lot of Templar. I love Templar. So yeah, so we get Immortals. That's nice. What the fuck? I don't think. Oh shit. Getting distracted by rally points. So we're getting Immortals, that's good. Oh, okay, we're getting a War Prism and a War Prism speed. That's beautiful. I love that. War Prism drops onto their army is always sexy. Why is our army so tiny? We have a very small army. And I'm not entirely sure why that is. The gateway count's pretty low, actually. And we've been investing so much into the tech that our army is just so small because of it. Because we have a lot of high tech, but we just don't have a lot of the meat and bone of the army to soak up damage when we only have 4 Zealots. Like, we should have a crap ton of Zealots. Like, charge lots are amazing versus mech. And also we need a flank. Going down this tiny choke against a meching player is very bad. And I hope that's not what happens. No, dear Jesus. Alright, this is going to be very messy. Luckily you've caught him. Okay, that's a good. That Zealot run by is nice. Luckily you caught him unsieged, so this is gonna go a lot better than you. Actually, It did go a lot better than it could have. I was expecting you to get completely rolled, but still, that was bad. Ooh, excuse me. Alright, so you clean it up eventually. Ooh, that was a nice hit on all the Vikings. That was very nice. Alright, so we clean it up. Alright. We're actually still in this game. I thought it was just over. He's only on 3 bases. You're on 4. You have all your tech up now, and now you're starting to get a little bit more bank, which is great, which is what you want. You also have your 3-3 done very early, which is perfect. So you have all the infrastructure set up now, but now you just need to keep the army coming out. And you could easily do that. You could just flood zealots right now, and you could win. If you just made a huge round of zealots and 1-8 up here, well, maybe not 1-8. Depends on how you did it. If you had a War Prism dropping onto his tank line as well, then you would have definitely been able to just win right there. But now we're getting a little, not so much. This is a bad angle to attack into. He can easily siege up right here, which he is, and this is a very small choke to attack into. If we're doing this, we need to have zealots coming from this way as well, or a drop going over top. Otherwise, this is just a suicide attempt. As I'm guessing what ends up happening. This is like just asking to die. He's just gonna set up along this area and just attack you as you go down. Did you kill that? Alright, you killed that, so that's nice. But actually that was pretty good that you killed that. But still, we didn't kill his army at all, and now this counter push, I'm guessing, is what is gonna kill us. That was kind of the equivalent of a Terran going too aggressive after their 10-minute push and like suiciding onto a 3rd base to kill that. And then they like sack their entire army to kill it, and then you just counterattack. It doesn't matter that they killed your 3rd; they just lost their entire army. So they're gonna be behind in that, and then they just lose. So I'm guessing that's what's kind of gonna happen right here. You kind of sacked a bit to kill that 3rd, and then they're just gonna counterattack because you didn't actually attack or dent their army at all. I'm guessing that's what's gonna happen here. Yeah, pretty much. And then we attack over to a choke, which should never happen. And since there's nothing beefing up or taking the damage for all these important units we have, then they're all going to die eventually. Like, if all these zealots were in the front during that engagement, then that would have gone much better. And we would have had all those immortals and archons still. It's amazing how evenly these games are, these armies are trading. He still doesn't have a 4th. That's ridiculous. You lose this? Wait, I thought you. Wait, you win this? Oh. Here I was thinking you were gonna lose this. Why do people submit game? Okay, anyway. Alright, well. I guess kind of just take what I said and kind of just make it so that your engagements are better, I guess. Try War Prisms, those are fun. Dropping on top of their army. Storm drops are great. So yep, thanks for watching.